The era of just show your passport and fly is officially ending, and if you rely solely on that blue book in 2026, you might not make it past the lobby, because we are shifting from physical ID to mandatory digital wallets and biometric scans that don't care about your loyalty status. Throw in new hidden taxes and strict digital-only lanes, and you have a recipe for getting stranded at the gate. So put down the suitcase for a second. We need to talk about the digital shift of 2026, what is legally required versus what is just a rumor, and exactly how to set up your phone so you aren't the one stuck in the manual processing line. This is the year your driver's license might finally go digital. The TSA now accepts mobile driver's licenses stored in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, but only at select airports and checkpoints. If your state supports it, you can tap your phone instead of showing your license. Sounds futuristic, right? Here's the catch. It doesn't work everywhere. Some airports still reject them, scanners fail, and TSA agents will send you right back in line if it doesn't scan. Rule number 1. Always bring a physical ID. Even the TSA quietly says, digital ID is optional convenience. Also, remember that May 7, 2025 was the hard deadline for real ID enforcement. So if your license doesn't have that little gold star, you'll need your passport to fly domestically. And speaking of passports, the US is testing the next big thing, the digital travel credential. Soon you'll board flights with just your face and your phone. No paper, no plastic. The ICAO and major airlines are already rolling it out in trials across Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles. So yes, the future of air travel is here. But keep that passport handy, because for now, it's still your best backup plan. Let's talk about the rule that refuses to die, the 311 liquids rule. Despite all the TikToks claiming it's gone, it's still very real in 2026. You can only bring liquids under 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters in a clear quart-size bag. Here's what changed. Not the rule, but the technology. Many U.S. airports now use computed tomography scanners that can actually see through your bag in 3D. Where those scanners exist, you can leave liquids and laptops inside your carry-on, but not every airport has them yet. Chicago O'Hare, Dallas Fort Worth, and Miami International do. Smaller airports mostly don't. So unless you know for sure your airport has CT lanes, pack like it's still 2010. And this one's big. Airlines are quietly tightening carry-on sizes again. Some are enforcing stricter dimensions. Others, like Southwest starting 2026, are reworking seat assignments and baggage fees. Translation: weigh and measure your bags, or risk paying $75 at the gate. Quick tip: pack your liquids for TSA and your sanity, because the rule's not going anywhere this year. If you're heading to Europe in 2026, your first stop might look a little different. The EU's new Entry-Exit System, or EES, officially launched on October 12, 2025, and becomes mandatory by April 10, 2026. That means every time you enter or leave the Schengen zone, which is, most of Europe, your photo and fingerprints will be recorded digitally. No more quick passport stamp, and enjoy your stay. Now, you'll face a short biometric scan at an automated gate. For first-timers, expect it to take a few extra minutes. Once you're in the system, it's faster next time. But if you're connecting flights in Europe, build in extra time between arrivals and departures. And here's what's next. The ETIAS Travel Authorization, Europe's version of the US ESTA, goes live late 2026. That means US travelers will have to apply online before flying, even for short stays. It's quick and cheap, about €7. But don't forget to do it, or you won't even board your flight. Pro tip: if you're traveling with a spouse or friend, register together on your first EES entry to stay in the same queue. 2026 isn't just changing how you fly, it's changing how much you pay. Starting April 1st, 2026, the UK air passenger duty increases again. That means flights leaving the UK, especially in premium cabins, just got pricier. and you'll probably see similar fuel surcharges creeping into ticket prices worldwide. But here's one piece of good news. The U.S. Department of Transportation passed new refund rules that force airlines to issue automatic refunds when they cancel or delay flights significantly. No more waiting on hold for 4 hours to beg for your money back. You'll also get refunds if you paid for extras, like seat upgrades or Wi-Fi, and the airline didn't deliver. Still, keep screenshots of delay times and receipts for anything you purchase. Automation only works when the data is clean, and missing proof can slow refunds. And if your flight's canceled overnight, ask the gate for the airline's customer service plan. Many are now required to offer food or hotel vouchers for eligible delays. Because in 2026, the airlines finally have to play fair, but only if you know your rights. Here's what works best in 2026 MPC, Global Entry, and Clear Plus. Mobile Passport Control, or MPC, is the official U.S. Customs app that lets you submit your arrival info before you reach the officer. It's 100% free and now accepted at over 50 U.S. airports. If you travel internationally twice a year or more, Global Entry is still your best bet. And you can use the same kiosk for re-entry even if your travel companion doesn't have it. Clear Plus continues to expand in 2026, but only speeds up ID check, not TSA security itself. Combine Clear with PreCheck, and you're golden. And finally, those facial recognition boarding gates aren't going away. By the end of 2026, most U.S. international terminals will board passengers by face scan instead of paper passes. If that makes you uneasy, you can opt out. Just tell the agent you prefer a manual check. And here's the exciting part. Those trials with the digital travel credential, where your passport lives securely in your phone, are expanding fast. Within a couple years, you might walk through an airport without touching a single document. So, start practicing now. Keep your ID, passport, and phone together. That's your travel triangle for the future. Have a real ID license or passport. Physical always wins. Enroll your digital ID only if your state and airport support it. Pack liquids under 3.4 ounces and assume TSA still cares. If flying to Europe, learn the EES timeline and ETS requirement. Keep receipts for refund claims and airline credits. Use MPC or Global Entry to skip customs lines. And don't be the person who finds out at the gate that your digital ID doesn't work here yet. Because travel in 2026 isn't harder. It just rewards the people who prepare. If you found this helpful, tap subscribe and share it with that one friend who still argues with the TSA about their water bottle. Smart flights, smooth connections, and I'll see you in the next one. Millions of travelers are about to walk into the airport thinking nothing has changed. But starting in 2026, some of the biggest travel rule changes in decades begin quietly taking effect. Not with announcements, not with clear warnings, but at the checkpoint, the gate, and the boarding door. New systems are changing how your identity is checked, how your documents are verified, and how mistakes are punished. Some travelers will be scanned without realizing it. Others will be charged fees they didn't know existed. And some will be denied boarding over rules they never saw coming. This isn't about one airline. And it's not just about one country. Welcome back to Jet Set Genius. If you want to stay ahead of new travel rules before they cost you time, money, or a missed flight, make sure you're subscribed. Let's start with the change everyone is talking about. Online passport renewal. For the first time, the U.S. State Department has rolled out a full digital renewal system. No mailing your passport, no checks, no envelope anxiety. If you qualify, you can renew completely online. But here's where people get tripped up. Online renewal is not for everyone, and it is definitely not always faster. To qualify, you must meet very specific criteria. You're renewing a standard adult passport. You were at least 25 when it was issued. Your name hasn't changed, and your passport falls within the eligible issue window. If even one of those doesn't apply, the system will reject you. And here's the part most people don't realize. Once you submit online, you can't switch to mail. You can't walk into an appointment, and you can't upgrade later if your trip suddenly becomes urgent. Your application is locked in. That's why this matters. If you have travel coming up soon, especially within the next 6 weeks, online renewal can actually slow you down. In those cases, expedited mail renewal is still the smarter move. Online renewal is best for routine renewals with no deadlines and no pressure. Think of it like airport security. The digital lane looks faster, but only if nothing goes wrong. Remember the days of handing your passport to an officer and getting that satisfying stamp? Well, those days are numbered. In 2026, airports across the US, Europe, and Asia will move toward a fully biometric system. That means your face and fingerprints will replace traditional documents for everything, from check-in to boarding to customs. The system is already being tested in places like Atlanta, Dallas, and London Heathrow. You walk up to a camera, it recognizes you in seconds, and your boarding pass appears automatically. Sounds futuristic, until you realize there's no way to opt out in many airports. If you're not comfortable with being scanned or photographed, you'll have to join a slower manual verification line. And that line is expected to grow dramatically once these systems become mandatory. The new EES system in Europe will also record exactly when you enter and leave the EU. If you thought carry-on rules couldn't get worse, think again. Starting in 2026, multiple airlines are set to enforce new bag size and weight restrictions. Some are introducing digital bag scanners at check-in, automatically rejecting oversized carry-ons before you even reach the gate. Airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and a few US low-cost carriers are already testing this. And the next phase? Charging passengers to use the overhead bins. Yes, you heard that right. Paying for space above your seat could become as normal as paying for the seat itself. Airlines argue it's about boarding efficiency, but let's be honest, it's about revenue. Here's the part travelers miss. Even full-service airlines are rumored to adopt personal item-only fare options next year. That means the bag you once carried for free could cost you $40 to $80 more per flight. Smart move. Invest in a small, structured under-seat bag that meets personal item dimensions and use compressible cubes to maximize space. Also, weigh your carry-on before you leave home. Some airlines now enforce 15-pound limits for overhead luggage. Don't let your vacations start with an argument at the gate. Airport security is about to feel very different, and for once, that might actually be a good thing. In 2026, TSA and airports across Europe are rolling out next-generation CT scanners. These advanced machines can analyze the contents of your bag in 3D, which means no more taking out laptops, liquids, or toiletries in many locations. Yep, the infamous 3.4-ounce liquid rule is on its last legs. Several airports in the UK and EU are already phasing it out, and TSA is testing similar systems at major US hubs right now. That said, don't get too comfortable just yet. Not every airport will upgrade at the same pace, so depending on where you fly, you might still need to remove your liquids and electronics. Another quiet change: shoe removal. The new scanners will be able to detect what's inside footwear, allowing most travelers to keep their shoes on during screening by 2026. Get ready, because your passport and boarding pass are about to merge. By 2026, the U.S. State Department will complete the rollout of next-gen e-passports. These digital-ready passports will include upgraded chips compatible with biometric systems and secure digital credentials that can live on your smartphone. In plain English, your phone could become your passport. Several airlines, including Delta, United, and British Airways, are already testing digital travel credentials. They verify your identity using facial recognition, so you can board without showing a single document. It's convenient, but also risky. Lose your phone mid-trip, and your digital ID goes with it. You could find yourself stranded without proof of citizenship. Smart move. Always carry your physical passport, even if you're using digital boarding. Keep paper backups of key documents. and store a photo of your passport info page in a locked notes folder on your phone. Technology is great, until your battery dies right before customs. Here's a rule change that hits where it hurts: your wallet. Starting in 2026, airports and airlines will quietly increase passenger taxes and environmental surcharges. You'll see them disguised as facility fees, fuel recovery, or green aviation levies. The UK has already confirmed an air passenger duty increase in 2026, and several EU nations are expected to follow. Experts predict similar adjustments will arrive in the US as airports modernize infrastructure. The tricky part? These costs are baked into your ticket, meaning you might not even realize you're paying more. Smart move. When comparing flights, check the taxes and fees breakdown on the checkout page and use airline credit cards that offer travel statement credits or fee reimbursements. Also, keep an eye on airport lounge access cards that include tax offsets or free checked bags. A few small adjustments can save hundreds each year.